everyone, welcome to our channel, Rebecca Stew and the Crew. I'm Rebecca, and today we have this really fun spring Dollar Tree DIY that I think you're going to enjoy. So let's go over the supplies first. We'll need these shadow box signs from the Dollar Tree. Also, we're going to use one of these small little pieces for the center. I'm going to need some ribbon that coordinates with my flowers. We'll use these small lanterns. They're LED. They have them out at Dollar Tree. They come in 3 different colors. They had them out last year as well. They just brought them back. Also, some adhesive pearl wrap in whichever color you like. They have it in white, off-white, gold, and silver. Some floral foam. We're also going to need some different greenery pieces and some floral from Dollar Tree. I really like a lot of the greenery and the roses they have out right now for Valentine's Day. So I chose a few of those and some of the spring flowers. Also, we're going to be using a razor blade, some scissors, some paint brushes, and a pencil. We'll need some paint that coordinates with the flowers and ribbon. Also, these wall mirrors, which are optional. I picked them up at Walmart. They're 12 for, I believe, $3.98. So let's get crafty. The very first thing we're going to do is just take a screwdriver and remove the little wall hanger off of the back of the sign. I'm going to want these to lay flat like a tray. So we're just going to take the hanger off, but hold on to it because you could use it for another craft if you make a picture or something you want to hang. And remove those staples and that twine hanger there and just set those aside. Then also I chose to use this little hanging planter out of the 3 wood pieces that I had. And I'm just going to cut that hanger off and just throw that out. We don't need that. Also, the lantern has this little tiny, almost like a keychain ring on the top of it. So I took that off. We won't need it. And then took the little protector out from the battery at the bottom. Made sure the light worked before I started. And then we'll paint the base to begin. So we're just going to take some Waverly chalk paint. This color is called Celery. And I'm going to paint the whole entire base of this little wood box here that we're making. So the reason I chose the colors that I did is because my daughter's getting married in a few months, and these are some smaller centerpieces we're going to use on some of the small tables around the dance floor. So I thought I would go ahead and show you guys how to make this centerpiece because it really could be used anywhere. So I'm just going to paint the whole entire thing celery green. I didn't bother painting the bottom. We won't see it. So we're going to set that aside to dry. While that's drying, I took a light paint in the color linen, also a chalk paint, and then I'm just going to paint over this small box. I didn't really want to change the color of this box all that much. I just wanted to cover it with paint so it looked finished. And then we really won't see a lot of this box, but just in case it's able to, be seen as it's peeking through the flowers, I wanted to make sure that it looked nice and finished. So I do the whole entire thing. And the reason I'm painting the bottom is because I'm actually going to put this in upside down. Okay, so we'll let that one dry as well. So while the boxes are drying, you're going to cut your flowers down that you're going to use to decorate your box. And then we are going to cut the adhesive pearl wrap down to fit our box. So these have the little slats here. So I'm cutting them down to about 3 rows for each slat. And then it has that sticky tape on the back. So you just pull the backing off and then apply it to the box. And these have dried while I was cutting my flowers down to the right size. So I'll continue adding the pearl wrap. I did all 4 sides. I didn't add any to the top or what's going to be the top because that's where we're going to attach the gold mirror. Now the sides with the slats, obviously you have to cut the little stripes or strips here. And then on the sides, we're going to just do a solid piece of the adhesive pearl wrap. And then we'll have to notch around those little pieces because of the way the slats are attached on the side. They have like a little cutout, which is where our razor blade's going to come into play. So all I did to measure this was I just laid it right on top and then cut around it. Some little guide marks, and then I laid the adhesive wrap on top and then took my razor blade and just notched out that little tiny piece on each side. You're really just removing like one small piece and a little bit of the adhesive tape. And it just gives it a more finished look by removing this. You could leave it on if you really wanted to. I just thought it looked nicer removing it. So now we have it completely covered on all 4 sides. And then I center it in the box. And then I take my floral foam and I cut that down. I just take little bits off until I figure out I have enough to squeeze it in where it's going to stay nice and tight. And then I place it in the box again and make sure it's centered. I just wanted to make sure it still fit with the pearls on there. And then I mark on each side with the pencil so I know where I'm going to put the glue down at. And I just use some hot glue and then attach the box. Now I'm going to measure the floral foam for each side so we can fill in those open spaces. And I just mark it with a pencil and I draw the lines just kind of going up on each side and then just connect them across the other side. And then I cut 2 pieces exactly the same size so I can fill in both open spaces on either side of that box with the pearl wrap. And it wasn't quite long enough, so I had to cut another smaller piece. And I don't want this to stick up past the top of the bottom box, and so I did trim it down. Once I have it cut to size, I just add some more hot glue and then attach the foam to the base here to add the rest of our flowers that's going to go all the way around. And then add your floral foam to the other side. It doesn't have to be completely filled with floral foam, but I really like that the base of this was that moss green color because it really helped hide the foam as well. So now I lay the mirror on top and just kind of figure out where I want it to be and then mark my lines with my pencil. And then it does have an adhesive back. These are actually wall tiles. And then I apply some hot glue in the center and then just attach the mirror. It'll stick plenty well with just the adhesive, but I wanted to make sure that it stays. Like I said, these will be for a wedding. So now what I'm doing, I cut my flowers down. I'm arranging them on either side. I like to work in kind of like a pattern. So I wanted like the same flowers on each side, and I kind of work out my pattern, what I'm going to do, and I lay them around each side, making sure I have enough of each flower before I start sticking them in. I don't want to start adding flowers and then find out I don't have enough of one or the other, and then it looks off, without the kind of symmetry all the way around. So I just want to make sure I have the same amount. So I always lay them out. I think it helps a lot. Then we just start sticking the flowers into the foam. That's why I really chose that box with the slats there, because I could use that foam and just stick the flowers right in the side. And it helps hold them kind of up off the table like I wanted them to be, so that the base will be nice and flat. So once I have all the flowers stuck on this side, I turn it around and I grab the flowers I already have laid out and I put them in the exact same order, just on the opposite side. So I do the 2 pink roses on either side, and I fill in the middle with a white rose. And then a little bit of the eucalyptus and some little just greenery. As you notice, for the box here, the sides that I'm doing right now, I'm not adding any hot glue to attach the flowers, just because it was a large block of foam and I was able to put a lot of the flower down in there and they were stuck really well. Now, because the box is so shallow that I'm using now to add the flowers to the side, I'm attaching some hot glue to the stems as I put them in, just to help make sure that they're going to stay over time. And I just fill in my flowers exactly the same on both sides, and then add a little bit of more detail with the eucalyptus, a little bit of these white flowers that look a little bit like baby's breath, and then some really small dainty roses that Dollar Tree just put out this week. They have a bunch of different roses out for Valentine's Day, and I just love the flowers they have out right now. And that blush pink color is so pretty with the light green. A little bit of gold accent, it just really ties it all together. So this is what it looks like so far. We have the flowers done all the way around. And as you can see a little bit of the pearl wrap there, which is why I added all those details. And now we're going to add a little bit more of the wedding color. So I took the stems that the flowers were on, and these dog nail clippers are perfect for cutting through the flowers. And we're just going to cut right through that wire, and we're going to use this little stem here to create our own kind of like little flower, but out of a ribbon. So I took the cinnamon colored ribbon and I just wrap it around my fingers, creating like an X pattern. And I go about 8 times around. And then I cut another piece of the ribbon, and I'm just going to tie that right in the middle of the bow. You want to tie it pretty tight. And then you want to leave those longer pieces for the tie because that's going to help us to add our stem. So now I just add a very small amount of hot glue to the stem and I start rolling it up on that little tie piece that I just made. And then I put a little bit more glue right where the knot is and attach it to the back of the bow. And then I have these little bows that I can stick into the floral foam. And I know they're going to stay exactly where I want them to be. And it really helped to tie in all the different wedding colors. And now I have a few more eucalyptus leaves that I actually pulled off of the stem. And I'm just going to glue those in a cascading pattern down the one side of the lantern just to kind of tie that all in. It looked a little plain on the top. I didn't really want to add a bunch of flowers to the top of it because these are just going to be sitting right on top of the glass mirrors. And I didn't want to add a whole bunch of detail that would get messed up by people picking them up and whatnot. So I just added a very small amount of green leaves and a little bit, like a little teeny tiny piece of a white flower. So not a whole lot, but just a little bit to tie it all together. And this is the finished product. I just love how these turned out. I think they're going to look really pretty at the wedding and they match our large center pieces. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make this. If you do, we do lots of DIY videos. I post them every single Thursday. Here's a few of the things we've posted the last few weeks. And we post what's new at the Dollar Tree videos every single Friday. I go to about 5 different Dollar Trees and combine all the pictures into one video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I hope you have a great day and come back tomorrow to see our Dollar Tree video. Have a great night, everyone.